Hello, hello. It is day 9 of 365, May 1st, 2024. It is Beltane May Day. And I'm in such a contrast of energy today, and it's my own fault. So I'm going to tell you guys all about it. But the energy right now collectively is absolute fire. It is amazing after the month that we've had, especially astrologically, where things have just been so all over the place. Everybody's been drained. Everybody's been going through a rough time. Many of us have started to feel that lifting, and it may also be in part attributed to this experiment, right? This challenge of suspending disbelief for a year. When you really truly suspend disbelief and you really put your intentions and your beliefs behind what we're doing here, the energy is palpable. It is very, very powerful. Now, that said, some of you may have noticed that yesterday's episode wasn't uploaded until like this afternoon. And that is because last night when I recorded it, it was like 2:30 in the morning. And when I was finished recording, I thought I hit stop on the recording. And for whatever reason, the stop didn't work. It didn't look like it was still recording, but apparently it was. So I was thinking that it just wasn't uploading. And so I plugged in my phone, I didn't plug in my phone. It was charged. So I left it unplugged and just thought I'll just leave it unlocked so that it keeps on uploading. And then I can just post it in the morning. And it turns out it was still recording. So the final recording that ended up being uploaded, which like I woke up to a dead phone this morning because it was going for so long. The final recording was 3 hours and 17 minutes long. So I had to break my my deal to myself of not editing my podcast because you guys are not going to want to listen to silence, or who knows, maybe me shuffling in my sleep for 3.5 hours almost. So that was absolutely ridiculous. And I think that the only thing that made it stop recording is that my phone died. So it could have even been longer. Anyway, that was my fun incident yesterday. And that's why yesterday's episode was uploaded so late. On top of that, I was exhausted today from staying up so late, and I took a nap in the morning, which meant that I didn't get it out till the afternoon. So all that said, I was, after recording it, or so I thought, talking to my guides before bed. And I basically got told again, like it was like got in trouble. Okay, I get in trouble a lot from my guides. They're pretty snarky and I tend to be a pain in the butt. So it was very, very clear that I need to be in bed by 10. Maintaining balance is going to be key to my inevitable success. And so right now it's past 10, and part of me is like my heart is racing because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not in bed by 10. But also part of me is like, I had a 3-hour long nap this morning and I'm not that tired. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to fall asleep tonight. And I figured it will not kill me to just record this. I'm not going to worry about uploading it till the morning. I'm just going to get it recorded and done, so that it's out of my brain. So again, and this was kind of the challenge slash like it was all my fault thing. I was exhausted today. Today's energy, despite the collective fiery energy, today's energy for me was more plodding. I was very ineffective. Like it was just slow. I was not getting things done. I got things done, but it wasn't the most exciting day to share with you guys, right? And that directly correlates with the choices that I made yesterday. And here's the thing is that it's not about being perfect for 365 days. It's not about never letting our energy slip. It's not about never making mistakes. What it is about is when you make those mistakes, or if you even believe in mistakes, I think they're all learning opportunities. But when you slip up, make sure you look at it, right? Instead of beating yourself up, instead of being like, well, I'm an idiot, or, um, oh, I'm so stupid. I shouldn't have made that choice. Instead of doing that, we can just say, like, just straight up look at how it affected me so that I'm very aware for my choices going forward, so that I can say, I'm not doing that again, right? I'm not going to stay up until 2:30 in the morning building out a website or creating a sales page or whatever the thing is, just because I'm in this like passionate, fiery energy where I just want to go, go, go and get so many things done. And I mean, this can tie very much into my ADHD. This is hyper focus where I get on a high and I like go, right? And um, it's not intentional. And that's exactly the problem, is that we want to be living intentionally. We don't want to just be kind of letting our energy lead us. I don't think I'm using the right word there. Not necessarily energy, but we don't want to be unintentional, right? We want to be choosing exactly what and why we're doing what we're doing. And so, with that said, um, I wanted to point that out today specifically because the day that I had today that wasn't super inspiring, that wasn't very powerful. I mean, and it wasn't that it wasn't powerful, but just it was less so than some of these other days have been, right? Um, is directly correlated to the fact that I stayed up last night. And I look straight in the eyes at that, right? Like that was the results of what I did. And I'm not giving myself shit for it. I'm just saying that is what happened. And so I can be very aware and make different choices from now on, right? And I want to point it out to you guys so that you can remember, for anyone who's doing this with me, it is easier to maintain the energetics of suspending disbelief and certainty in your success being inevitable when you're not exhausted. Okay. It becomes a lot harder to maintain that belief when you are tired. So, of course, we all have busy lives and there are going to be days where we're exhausted. The point here is to do, and some of us we're exhausted a lot of the time, right? And that's what we're hopefully working away from over this year, but that may be just part of life. However, make sure that you look at it. Make sure that you are being intentional with what time you do have, that you're getting as much rest as possible, and that you're not forgetting your self-care, right? So I stayed up super late, which meant I did not get up in the morning. I did not give myself any self-care time. And I was so exhausted that I didn't get things done in the morning, didn't spend time being present with my child, all of these kinds of things. And I don't necessarily regret that. I got a ton done last night and it was like an exchange one for the other. However, I know that energetically, I was not as, I guess you could call it high vibe. I was not as positive. I was not, and again, I wasn't negative, but I just wasn't quite as high, right? So and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I could do better. I will do better in future, kind of a mentality, right? So make sure that you are taking time for your self-care. Make sure that you are giving yourself the amount of rest that you need. And, maybe your bedtime doesn't need to be 10 o'clock. Apparently mine does. That's fairly early for me, but it also makes sense because I have been a lot more tired lately. And I know that energetically and with the sort of collective upgrades going on, the astrologically and otherwise, that most of us are more tired than we usually are. And so we need to be getting more rest, right? It's just logical. And if we're not giving that to ourselves, then we're not taking care of ourselves. And when we're not taking care of ourselves, it is much easier to start believing that things might fail. It's much easier to give up. It's much easier to lose trust, right? And that is the whole point of this year, is to suspend disbelief, be certain, trust that our success is inevitable. And so get enough rest so that you can maintain that's going to be a really key piece. And so I wanted to make sure that I got that one out there today. So that's it for today. That's a very good thing, because the last few have been a little bit longer, and I am aiming to keep them shorter. But I hope you are all doing well. Let me know how your challenge is going, how your experiment is going, in the comments. And yeah, I will talk to you all tomorrow.